Well, good morning. It's Mark Lanier with your video thought for the day. So this week has been Direction Week. I've been talking about words that indicate direction. I did up, I did down, and today, of course, if I've done up and down, I need to do in the middle. So today's video thought for the day concerns a Hebrew word, tavek. Now, tavek can be translated being in the middle, being in the midst, being in the center. For example, Ezekiel 5 talks about how God set Jerusalem in the center of the nations. Center. That's the word tavek. Tavek means also in the midst, like in the middle of. Zechariah 2:10 has a promise from God. And that promise from God is that God says, I will come and I will dwell in your tavech, in your middle, in your midst. And many nations will join themselves to the Lord and shall be my people. I mean, this is that idea of midst, of middle, of tavech, that God promises he will come dwell in our midst, in the middle of us. This is especially useful coming from the prophet Zechariah. Zechariah's name itself is prophetic. His name is a compound of two Hebrew words, Yah, which is the name of God in an abbreviated form, and Zachar, which is remembers. And Zechariah, his name means God remembers. And so we worship a God who doesn't forget. And he will remember it. He makes that promise that he's going to dwell in the middle, in the midst of us. I love the middle passage out of 1 Kings 6:13. There God says, I will dwell among the children of Israel and will not forsake my people. That among is the same word. It's in the midst, in the middle of. God's going to set up camp in the hearts of his children. It's a profound idea for me. It's a profound idea for me that God doesn't simply say, I'll be around. God doesn't simply say, I'll watch out over you. God doesn't simply say, you can follow me where I go. All of those things are true. But it's not the whole truth. Because the whole truth is that God will dwell in the midst of you, in you, with you. That's the promise that Jesus assured people. And as he prayed to God in John 17, that people would learn and understand that just as Jesus was in God and God was in Jesus, so God dwells within us. God seeks this relationship within us. I don't simply see God. I don't simply watch God. I don't simply read about God. I don't simply pray to God. But God is a very present reality in my life. He sets up tavech in the midst of me, in my innermost being. I've been reading this book by David Chalmers. It's a famous book on consciousness and trying to understand the conscious mind, because frankly, scientists don't. It's beyond what the mind does in consciousness is beyond electrical synapses. It's beyond computer programming. There's an awareness and a consciousness that's even hard to define, and yet it's the most real thing we know. It's that part that Rene Descartes said, cogito ergo sum, I think, therefore I am. There's something that we know that we are, and that we're thinking, and that we're processing, and that we're conscious people. We know that more acutely in reality than we know anything else, and yet we understand such little about it. And I'm sure that part of this is a recognition that within humanity, within the human that commits their life in relationship to God, God sets up in our midst, in the midst of us. He is tavek. He is within us. I don't have all of the answers to this. This is mysterious, yet it is nonetheless true. And it's certainly something I'm going to think about today, and I hope you'll join me tomorrow. Another video thought for the day.